Hello, everyone. Sorry for the delay. I had some nature call just before. Anyway, so this is a call about a package I created called Umbraco Restrictions. It's a bit technical, but not only, so it can be interesting if you're like writing content for Umbraco or things like that. But if you're not part of a content or technical, that's if you like are in sales or anything, that's probably gonna bore you to death. Just friendly reminder, just in case. I don't want to be there for that. Anyway, so package is called Umbraco Restrictions. My name is Giuliano. It's a pleasure to have you here. So basically, geez, here it is. That's a bit better. So if you have been playing with Umbraco before, you have often had those issues. So all the time in the back office, you can meet this scenario where some nodes you have need to be unique at the root level, which is, for example, like a global repository or list of settings. I'm going to give you an example right now. So we have this package target like 3 issues that most people meet with Umbraco in the content. So first one is nodes need to be unique at the root level, like including like list of settings or anything, people using documents to store some information. Nodes cannot have siblings on the same doc type at some level. For example, if I have a login page, I don't want to have two different login pages for the same project, because that will be confusing for people. That just doesn't make any sense. It's one page to log in, period. And also, some project needs have dependency on some nodes. Again, like the home page is a pretty big node. Like if we unpublish this one, there is no more site. Or if we unpublish a document that contains all the settings of a website, that can be a pretty big issue for the website to work. So I'm logging in the back office right now. So you can see here that we have a global setting document. This is the document that can only appear one time, because that's where I store all the information, like every information relating to the website, like name, like where I find my news, where I find my customers, all that kind of information. That can only be one time there. I don't want this document to have a duplicate, because that will mess up the whole project. Also, you can see that at the home page, I want to be able to have only one kind of page there that will come for the demo. So basically, why is it an issue? Basically, for your project, if you're managing your project yourself, that's pretty fine, because you know where the restrictions are and you don't unpublish by accident. But if you're part of a content team or if you're an external developer, then you're not supposed to know about those restrictions, which is a bit of an issue. In short, not everybody is supposed to know about your convention. And if you have an intern that gets access to a back office and gets publish rights or unpublish rights, he can just blow the whole project just by unpublishing some documents. This is what we're trying to avoid by using this package. Demo time. So the package is available on GitHub. Once we install it, we can have a setting like this one. We can see that in Umbraco, we have a config file called restrictions that is available in the config folder. So we have different kind of restrictions: root singleton document, only child document, least once document root. Different logic for different restrictions. We're going to focus for now on the root singleton document. So for example, when I am on the content section, I see that there is a document called global settings. It doesn't have any template. The purpose is not to be displayed as a page. It's to store all the information that we need for the website. But if I start creating another document called global settings, because Umbraco allows you to do that, then it will break the whole thing. So if I try right now, global configuration, global configuration. we can see here that we have a constant restriction. That means that the content has been created, but it's not published. The goal is to avoid that kind of scenario, to have two documents that are published at the same time. So that's the first restriction. Second restriction is about, so if I look at the GitHub page, or if I look at the definitions of the restrictions, we can see, for example, so it's pretty straightforward for the restriction config. We set the rule name. The rule name is documented in the GitHub project. We can display we can set up the error message we want to display, and we can also set the document type alias with the document that we want to display. For the only child document, what we can do is, for example, I don't want to have different landing page. I want only one landing page. Landing page can be replaced by a login page or whatever. So if I try to do this now, so you can see landing page is not at the root level, but it's is a child of the home node. If I want to publish test number 2, you can see that there is another exception again. So that's basically the logic every time. It's using the Umbraco API to stop the user from publishing document that could break the logic of your website if it's there, or just confuse the people, because we don't want 2 pages for the login unless there's a specific scenario for that. But most of the websites have only 1 page to let the user log in. That's about that. And the last restriction is to avoid unpublishing some documents that are really important. Let's say that I've kept all my settings in the global settings project. Well, for now there's nothing, but it doesn't cost much to imagine. And basically on this project, I don't want to unpublish this because that will contain all the URL to different services I use, all the private and public keys for different APIs and stuff like that. So if I unpublish it, basically the whole project will break down, and that's something we would try to avoid. So for that, it's the same idea. I just go into the restriction config, and I set the least once document root with a document type alias and the error message. So here I say, basically I said that global configuration must be unique at the root level, but also it has to be there at least once. If not, that will break my own project. And if I try to unpublish it, wrong document, sorry for that. And you can see that we get 400 bad requests on this one. That means that the Umbraco API doesn't let us unpublish this document. So that's how it works. For now, I'm using the 7.5.14. For unpublishing cancel operation, like you can see that there is a pretty solid bug here in the Backoffice that doesn't display the error message. That I hope that's been fixed after that in next versions of the Backoffice. But it's not possible to unpublish. As you can see, the document is still published there. So this is how the package work. Going back to, yeah, that's about it. Now I'm going back to the code just to explain small bits of how it works and how you guys can contribute if you want to work on this package with me. So basically we have different kind of interface with different kind of restrictions. For now there is only a publish and unpublish restrictions. We can see that I created a class called list once document root restriction with a rule name and a config file that must be written. The logic is pretty straightforward. We read the XML file. We intercept the publish/unpublish event. If the document type alias is in the list, we stop the publishing or we cancel the unpublishing order in the back office. That's about it. It's pretty straightforward, but there was no package that was doing this before, so I found it pretty interesting for some projects. I might found 1 or 2 projects with real-life scenario, so it can be a bit more visible for you. So this is the back office of one of my projects from one of my clients. It's a kind of e-commerce website. Basically, the site has to be live all the time. If the site goes down, we lose money every time. It's pretty sensitive content. We can see that there is a node called settings. Like you can see basic information about like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram URL, those kind of stuff that cannot be stored anywhere else. Or we can also have different information. But basically, this is where it's interesting to have that kind of restriction to avoid that kind of document to not be unpublished. Because if it's not published, the website will target those URL and will not find it, which will result in error. That's about that. So the project is available at my GitHub. So GitHub GUnit Umbraco Restriction. Feel free to add PR. And yeah, I will put a Nugget package together so it will be available soon. If you have any questions, here's my Twitter. Thank you.